Gunmen hit Mali's capital, its main military base, its international airport, and 3 other cities, all at the same time. This was not a raid. This was a takeover attempt. On Saturday, April 25, 2026, a series of coordinated attacks struck multiple locations across Mali simultaneously. 2 explosions and sustained gunfire erupted shortly before 6 a.m. GMT near Kati, the site of Mali's main military base and the personal residence of military ruler General Assimi Goïta. Gunfire and heavy weaponry were also reported near Bamako's Modibo Keïta International Airport, located roughly 15 kilometers from the city center, with military helicopters patrolling the area. Incoming and outgoing flights at the airport were canceled. Simultaneous unrest was reported in the central town of Sévaré and the northern cities of Kidal and Gao. Mali's army confirmed in an official statement that unidentified armed terrorist groups targeted certain locations and barracks in Bamako, and that soldiers were engaged in eliminating the attackers. According to security sources cited by Reuters, the jihadist group Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin, known as JNIM, al-Qaeda's West African affiliate, was involved in the attacks and reportedly fought alongside separatist forces against the army. A spokesperson for the Tuareg-led Azawad Liberation Front, or FLA, claimed its forces had taken control of Kidal and parts of Gao, though Al Jazeera said it could not independently verify that claim. FLA spokesman Mohamed El Maouloud Ramadan later told Agence France Presse that the FLA had seized most of Kidal, with the city's governor reportedly taking refuge inside a former UN peacekeeping camp. One resident living near Gao's army camp described the scene to the AP. "The force of the explosions is making the doors and windows of my house shake. I'm scared out of my wits." He spoke anonymously, citing fears for his personal safety. Now, here's a question worth sitting with. If armed groups can simultaneously strike a capital city, a military base, an international airport, and 3 northern cities all at once, what does that tell us about who is actually in control of Mali? By late morning, Mali's army stated the situation was under control, though it acknowledged that sweeping operations were still ongoing. The U.S. Embassy in Bamako issued an emergency security alert urging all Americans to shelter in place and avoid all travel. The African Union condemned the attacks, with its chairperson calling on all parties to halt actions that risk exposing civilian populations to significant harm. Witnesses told Al Jazeera that Russian Africa Corps mercenaries, formerly the Wagner Group, were engaged in fighting around the airport, where they maintain a headquarters. Analysts noted that growing pressure on Russian forces due to the Ukraine war has seen some mercenaries pulled out of Mali, potentially weakening the junta's security architecture. According to this year's Global Terrorism Index, the Sahel region is now the epicenter of terrorism activity worldwide, accounting for more than half of all terrorism-related deaths in 2025. Today's attacks are not an isolated incident. They are the violent culmination of years of strategic failures. France expelled, the UN mission withdrawn, Russian mercenaries stretched thin, and a military junta that came to power promising security but has delivered the opposite. The apparent coordination between JNIM jihadists and the Tuareg FLA separatists, 2 groups with very different ideologies, signals a dangerous new operational fluidity that Mali's government and its regional partners are clearly unprepared for. The real question no one is asking yet, if Bamako itself is no longer safe, where exactly does Mali's junta plan to retreat to, and who will be left to protect ordinary Malians when they get there? This is Untold Truths, where the stories the world needs to hear get told. If this story moved you, drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe now so you never miss a breaking story. The truth doesn't wait, and neither do we.